Have you been thinking about buying a land in Lagos, Nigeria? Most especially in Ibeju-Lekki, Lagos, Nigeria. Now, do you know the differences between government allocation and a CofO? This is what we'll be discussing today. Welcome to this space where we'll discuss topical issues that affect real estate in Nigeria. I remain Patrick, a Lagos Realtor. Welcome. When we come back, we'll be looking at the differences between government allocation and a certificate of occupancy. All you need to know before you pay for that property. Welcome back, everyone. This topic became very necessary because right now, the two most common themes in the Lagos real estate space, most especially in Ibeju-Lekki, are government allocation and a CofO. So many people have the notion that both of them are property titles. But today, we're making a distinctions and helping you understand what these two terms are and their distinctions. Stay till the end because definitely you would learn something new from today's content. First things first, what is a government allocation? A government allocation is simply a land directly allocated by the government. In this case, directly allocated by the Lagos State government via the Land Use Allocation Committee. So to put in simple terms, if you buy a land from the government, it is a government allocation. And in most cases, it comes with an allocation letter. You would always find government allocation in government schemes and government estates. Now, we've got so many schemes in Lagos, so many schemes in so many places, but we're talking about Lagos. We've got so many schemes in Lagos. If we narrow it down to Ibeju-Lekki, we have about 5 different government schemes in Ibeju-Lekki. We've got the Iberekodo scheme, you've got the Yegunda scheme, you've got the Idera scheme, and so many other schemes. So one thing you need to understand and know is that government allocation are mostly found in government schemes and in government estates. But what you need to know is that government allocation is not a property title document. You still need to perfect it. It is not a title document. Then you may want to ask, why then do people ask you to buy properties with a government allocation? Basically, there are two pros for buying this particular kind of land. First thing you need to know about government allocation is that it is clean. It is less likely to have dispute because you are buying it from the government. So it is clean. Secondly, is that it is often cheaper when you compare it to a land that has a certificate of occupancy. So if you are to place, if you are to use Ibeju-Lekki as an example, you look for a land with government allocation in Ibeju-Lekki and you look for a land with CofO in Ibeju-Lekki, you often find out that the land with government allocation would be cheaper in most cases than the land with a certificate of occupancy. So the two advantage of buying a government allocation land is that it is cheap and also it is less likely to have disputes. What are the disadvantages of having or buying a land with government allocation? The first is that you don't own full ownership until you perfect it. Because all you get is a government is because all you get is an allocation letter, you still need to perfect it. And the only way you can claim full ownership over a property or a land is when you have a certificate of occupancy. So one of the disadvantage of government allocation is even when it is safe and even when it is clean, you still must perfect it into a CofO. Now, the second disadvantage is it may take time for you to perfect your government allocation into a CFO. It may take time, but the truth is, most often than not, you would always get the CFO on it, but it may take time. Now, these are basically the two defects of government allocation land. First being that you don't own full ownership except you perfect. And also, for you to perfect, it might take a little long for you to get your CFO on that property. Now that we understand what a government allocation is, the advantages and also the defect, we'll be talking about certificate of occupancy, also known as the CofO. The certificate of occupancy is that document. It's a property title, and it is that document that gives you the right and the claim to a land, always issued by the state government, in rare occasions, the federal government. It grants the holder the right to that property for 99 years. 99 years is the potency period for a CofO document, and this can be obtained by direct allocation from the government and also through property regularization. So you can, when you buy a property from the government, just like government allocation, you can get a CFO through that means. You could also get it by regularizing, just like when you buy a freehold property, a property free from government acquisition, you can regularize and get your CFO on that kind of property. So the advantage of the CFO over the government allocation is that the CFO is a property title. It is a recognized legal title, and it could be used to obtain loan and mortgages, and also safer for resale. When you want to sell, it is safer because you can easily transfer ownership to the next buyer. The next buyer don't need to start perfecting or start thinking of how to get a CFO because you can only get a CFO once on a particular property. What are the cons of CofO, the certificate of occupancy? The first is that it is very expensive, and it consumes time to process. It is very expensive to get, and the processing time can be so time consuming. The other thing about the CFO is that not all lands have a CFO. Not all lands have a CFO. Now, this is for some persons who are new to the real estate space. You want to buy a land, and they tell you this land is this, and you just at the back of your mind think it has a CFO. No, not all lands have a CFO. So the CFO is a legal title document. It gives the holder the right and the claim to that piece of land for 99 years. We call it a leasehold. For 99 years, you own the property, and you can get it by direct allocation from the government or through regularization or perfection of a freehold land. So this is everything about the CFO. So, and these are the keynotes you need to take from this particular discussion on CFO and government allocation. The first is that the government is the sole issuer of both of them. The government issues government allocation. The government also issues a CFO. Now, a keynote difference between these two terms, the CFO and the government allocation, is in the terms of title. The government allocation is not a land title, while the CFO is a legal property title. It's a legal title recognized everywhere. Now, the next is what document is issued. When you get a C of O land, you get the certificate of occupancy. You get a certificate. For the C of O land, the only thing you get is a government allocation letter. So these are the little key differences between these two terms, the government allocation and the C of O. Another thing that you must note is that the COO can be used to process and get loans and mortgages, while the government allocation cannot be used for that. And lastly, while the CFO needs no further processing or perfection, the government allocation needs to be perfected for you to get a CFO and for it to be on the same level as a land that already has a CFO. That is that about that. Now, then, if we must ask which is better, the government allocation or a land with a CFO, it is just based on what you, the client, want. Now, if you're looking for a cheaper land, then government allocation. But if you're looking for a land that gives you full ownership and security, then you go for a CFO. That is that about that. So when next you're looking to buy a land in Lagos, in Ibeju-Lekki, in Epa, or anywhere, you need to ask the question, what is the status or what is the title on the property? Is it a government allocation or is it a CFO? When they tell you either of these, you already know what to expect. I remain Patrick, your Lagos Realtor. Thank you for watching. Like our videos, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notification button so that every time I drop a new content like this, you'll be the first to see it. Now, if you've got questions, drop your questions in the comment section. We could go through it and give you a reply on whatever comment you drop. If you're looking to buy a land in Ibeju-Lekki in a government scheme, my number is on the screen. In fact, we've got something sweet for you in a government scheme in Ibeju-Lekki, in Ibeju-Kodo scheme. We've got something amazing for you. So if you're looking to buy a land in Ibeju-Lekki, safe with a CFO. In fact, the CFO came out in September of 2024. So it's so fresh. So my number is on the screen. The link to my WhatsApp is in the description. You can come into my DM and I'll give you more information on this particular property. Until we see again, stay safe, keep investing in real estate, and be peaceful.